Haitian immigrants, born, raised, and currently resides in East Flatbush section of Brooklyn. He joined the New York City Police Department in 2008 to work from the inside to remedy some of the injustices he faced as a young man. Edwin is currently an active NYPD lieutenant and recently ran for New York City Council District 40. He advocates for teachers that need more resources, for hospitals that need more funding, and for communities that need more opportunity. He's also the subject of the Emmy Award-winning Hulu original documentary, Crime and Punishment, that has chronicled Edwin along with 11 NYPD officers who blew the whistle on arrest quotas and racism with the NYPD. So Edwin is no stranger to speaking truth to power and is determined to be a voice for the people. And so with that, greetings, King Edwin. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us on Melbourne Motivation. How are you doing today?
I'm good, King. I appreciate you for having me on the show, and thank you for that amazing introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited for folks to hear a bit more about your leadership and the things that you have been doing because it is so timely. And so, you know, where I want to start, in many ways, you're a man on a mission. But before we get into that, can you just describe for us some of the qualities that you've pulled from your Haitian heritage and the culture that have shaped the man you are today?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Haiti is really the only successful slave revolution, that basically Africans who were enslaved that were able to start their own nation. So when I learned this, there was a sense of pride that went through my veins in understanding that my ancestors were able to defeat oppression. So, basically what Haiti accomplished was supposed to be impossible. And every time I face a challenge, I remind myself I literally come from the people that accomplished the impossible. So whenever I need motivation or whenever I need to motivate someone else, I let them know. I remind them that the so-called impossible can be achieved. It's going to take work, but it can be done. And Haiti continues to serve as that example for me based on that history.
You know, it's a beautiful reminder. And, when I have conversations with my friends that are Haitians, we realize that spirit of perseverance, right, of overcoming obstacles. So that's beautiful to hear. For your dedication to public service and valiant activism, many consider you the people's champ, right? And so can you briefly walk us through a few of your leadership initiatives that have been close to your heart and tell us about the changes that you're looking to make?
So as you already stated, the reason why I joined policing is because of the way that I was treated as a young Black man growing up at Flatbush, big Caribbean community where I'm watching my brothers and sisters, my friends, people, even people I don't know being mistreated by police. So in 2015, I became the lead plaintiff in a federal lawsuit that's still going on. August 30th is going to make it 6 years. Officially, I'm the lead plaintiff in this federal lawsuit that has the power to really change policing, not just here in New York, but in the whole nation, because a lot of the police departments throughout the nation, they get their example, they get their policies, they even get their leadership from whatever's going on in New York City. So if we can administer the antidote from here in New York, the thinking that is that it's going to spread from coast to coast and remedy a lot of the issues in policing. So that's one of the things that's most important to me in terms of leadership. I've also co-founded a nonprofit organization called PLOT, which stands for Preparing Leaders of Tomorrow. Me and my brother Jim, what we do is we mentor the young boys and men in the community that are going in the wrong direction. We've been able to save lives with this program. Jim himself was formerly incarcerated. He was a felon, a juvenile delinquent, you name it. He changed his life. He reformed himself, and together, we got together to start this organization and help the youth behind us. And now, in my official capacity, I work with the community directly in my official capacity.
I really hope, and listening audience, I want you to Google him. What he just said is very important. We see injustices every day, every year, and it evokes frustration in us. And we ask ourselves, what's being done? And here is a gentleman, here's a leader who's on the inside, and he is risking it all to ensure that we can see some changes for the future. Thank you. This is amazing. And I'm really getting glad, our listening audience is getting a chance to hear it firsthand. Where I want to go next, Haiti's at the top of the diaspora's mind for obvious reasons. But first, I'd love for you to tackle an area where I think there's a lack of education or really no education. And so what I'm talking about is recently, I heard you mention at a celebration for Haiti that Haiti and the Haitian flag, it's a representation that oppression can be beat and defeated. So I'd really love for you to touch on that. Can you please expand on that for our listening audience? Tell us a little bit about Haiti's powerful history and the connection to Jamaica and a number of other nations.
Yeah. So after achieving independence in January 1st, 1804, the newly founded Haitian government didn't just sit there, in their freedom. Immediately they crossed the mountains and drove out the Spanish to abolish slavery in the rest of the island, for our brothers and sisters who we call Dominican today. And then Simon Bolivar, who's known as the Great Liberator in South America, he went to Haiti to get troops, to get guns, to go into asylum, and then he would go back out, he would liberate a nation, and then always hide out in Haiti every time the Spanish sent to kill him. Today we have Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama, so many countries who owe their freedom to Simon Bolivar, and Simon Bolivar was able to do what he did as a military genius because of the assistance from Haiti. A lot of people don't know that the Haitian Revolution is started in Bois-Caïma. It's a ceremony that was started by an African that was born in Jamaica named Dutty Boukman. His name was Dutty Boukman because he was able to read. A lot of people don't know that. And when I speak to people throughout the diaspora, that's when I realized we need a Caribbean or Latin American curriculum, because there's a lot of history between the islands, and we don't know each other's history. Now me, I love history, so I read up on each of the islands, and that's kind of how I try to help people understand, because I'm a Garveyite, I'm a Pan-Africanist, but it's hard to get somebody that's from Grenada to pay attention unless you speak about Maurice Bishop. If you want somebody from Jamaica to pay attention, you can list from Marcus Garvey to Nanny to Paul Bogle, etc. And I started realizing when you learn about their respective heroes, then people are more likely to understand we're all in this together. We got here together, and we're going to get out of it together. So the history in Haiti and the contribution to the world goes far. I'll end with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. Napoleon Bonaparte reached out to President Thomas Jefferson and sells the French portion of what we call the United States. It was called the Louisiana Territory. And it triples the former 13 colonies. The 13 states that make up the United States triples them overnight. 1803 is not a coincidence. This is because of the loss that was suffered in Haiti. Over 20,000 troops were sent to suppress the slave revolution, and about just a few thousand made it back to Paris. Okay, we were able to do the impossible, leading to the United States tripling overnight because Napoleon was forced to sell that territory in order to raise funds. The contribution goes on and on. Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, which is the founder of Chicago, was from Haiti. Chicago was just going to be another flyover state, another flyover city, but he starts a trading route with the natives, and it becomes what we know as Chicago. The Battle of Savannah, during the American Revolution, the French sent black soldiers, Buffalo soldiers, to help the United States. Those soldiers, many of them became the founding fathers of Haiti. Toussaint Louverture fought in that battle. Henri Christophe,
Wow.
And the list goes on and on. But one thing I always tell people, you don't have to be born in Haiti of Haitian parents to appreciate this history. This history is for all of us. The pride I feel in Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and Toussaint Louverture and Maurice Bishop and Thomas Sankara and Nelson Mandela, we can feel it as a diaspora. You don't have to be, this is bigger than Haiti. These are African people that were able to accomplish the impossible. So anybody that's descended from African people can claim that victory. That's how I see it as a Pan-Africanist.
Wow. As you're speaking, I'm sure I'm not the only one listening. I'm getting chills through my bone because this is information that we're not taught. And when you really get a chance to hear the history, a little bit of what you just spoke about, we really start to understand when we say we are one people, when we say we are one Caribbean, it's not just words. It's not just words. Thank you for sharing that with our listening audience. And so, you know what? Right now, the diaspora needs to help Haiti heal, and urgently, right? From the latest devastating earthquake. So I'd love for you to tell us about the support for Haiti that you're helping to lead. Where can people donate? And importantly, expand on some of the everyday items that the people in Haiti need. And where can folks drop it off? Where can they donate these items?
So thank you for that. Just in a few days, we've been able to pick up so many of the donated goods. Basically, any NYPD precinct, be it in the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, you can donate a list of goods that I'm coordinating a team of folks who are going to pick it up and bring it to a warehouse where we're going to sort it. We're going to pre-bag it. That way, when we touch down in Haiti, we can start giving it out to the people. So any NYPD precinct, you can donate. For those who are unable to donate goods, we have a GoFundMe. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see it as the link in my bio. There are fraternities in the NYPD. One is the Haitian American Law Enforcement Fraternal Organization. The fraternity has started a GoFundMe. I'm part of the fraternity. I'm part of the committee that's part of the relief effort. So you can trust me. This is one of the biggest issues people are having right now is trust. Because 11 years ago, a lot of people poured out they poured out money they didn't have and saw very little get done. This time, this is an organization of which I'm part of. So you can trust what's going here. I can't speak for other organizations, but you can trust what we're doing. So you can go to my Instagram in the bio. You can donate to the GoFundMe, and you can donate goods, goods that people need after a natural disaster at any NYPD precinct.
I appreciate that, and as we're wrapping up, as we're coming to a close, Irie Jam and the Bridge, we cater to the entire world, to the Caribbean, locally, globally. And so I'd love to ask, what words of encouragement would you like to leave with our Haitian brothers and sisters listening right now? Especially the youth, about unifying and about overcoming obstacles. What kind of inspiration, motivation would you like to leave with them? And if you feel like it, speak it in Creole for all, our listeners that speak Creole, feel free to do so as well. But what kind of motivation would you like to leave?
So, I mean, it's cliche, but unity is where the strength is. That's literally what's written on the bottom of the Haitian flag. L'union fait la force. Unity is strength. So we have to understand we have to come together to be as strong as we can. You understand what? So that's as a group. And I'll say in Creole, "Mais en pile chai palou," which means with many hands, no load is too heavy. But as an individual message to the people, remember, you have to make the decisions now to have a better tomorrow because you deserve it. We want to make our parents proud. We want to make the people around us proud, the people who have invested and poured into us. But we have to remember it's because we deserve it. So think things through and try to make the right decision as often as possible the first time. And if you make a decision you disagree with or that didn't lead to the results that you want, never count yourself out. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Edwin, change maker, thank you for sharing this meaningful conversation with us on Melbourne Motivation. Please tell our listening audience, where can they follow you? Where can they connect? Where can they continue to support your movement?
So on Instagram, just Edwin Raymond or E.Raymond _. Edwin Raymond on Facebook, Edwin Raymond NYC on Twitter. I'll respond. Just give me like at least a day. I respond to as much as I can. And I appreciate the support. You understand? Like the last thing someone, a young Haitian youth from Flatbush thought he could do was take on, a power like the NYPD and do all these things for the people. And I appreciate the support throughout these years. And I'm always going to be here for the people.
Man, we love you, man. We are proud of you. From Irie Jam, The Bridge, our listening audience, man, we will continue to support you. And so with that, I just want to thank you again, man, for taking time out to be on Melbourne Motivation today. So with that, Erwin.
Indeed, sac passe, Edwin Raymond, and by the way, there are vacancies in Brooklyn now. There's one there in City Hall, in Borough Hall. So you need to work as well. All right. And
I give it some.
Huh?
I said I give it some thought.
We'll use the bridge here to make it work. Ira Jam, of course, for the community. And we thank you very much for what you do, sir, and Godspeed. Miguel, final words here. How do we connect with you, sir?
Absolutely. Listening audience, as per my personal and professional goals are to help the youth be best prepared for college. This way we can have more Edwin Raymonds. And so please visit pathwaytopurposenyc.com. Use the code IRIE, IRIE for a discount when purchasing our college study flashcards. Follow Melbourne Motivation on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's a channel. Subscribe. You'll be able to watch this interview again, plus more. And so until next time, please be safe, live with big energy. Erwin, we'll connect again next week.
One love, my friend. All the best to you. There you have it, ladies
Appreciate
and gentlemen, the most powerful segment of our production here.